Hello, this is the 2021 candidate for governor of Virginia, Maura Rutledge Jr. That's my name. Of course, always remember it. Then, before I make my trip to Richmond, Virginia, because, I don't believe the liberal crap unless I see it face to face, eye to eye. Y'all have seen my reporting before, right there from ground zero, seeing exactly what's going on. And then, of course, making policy from experience, not behind the keyboard. Now, let me put this Facebook conversation right here for the public, because this is good. This is one of the ones where I can read out and kind of let people know why Maura Rutledge is the best candidate going today. Now, first, George Mears. He is a Virginia Civil Defense League member, and he brought up a good question. And he first speaks to a good friend of mine who is making sure I come out to Southwest Virginia to fire up the base out there. And I said I won't let them down. But first, the guy's name is George Mears. What about telling us why to vote for someone, not just what's wrong with the opposition? It's very difficult to motivate people to get excited about voting against anybody. Remember Reagan's 11th commandment. Also, talking to Christina Hurd, if you need a job, it's difficult to believe you. If you never held an elected office, what qualifies you to go for one well above tour experience level unless you have a boatload of grassroots experience that includes reviewing General Assembly proposals, proposing bills you are passionate about, and finding sponsors to introduce them. Volunteer service on economic development boards, that sort of thing. Without some qualifying experience, why would voters not think you're a dog chasing a truck with no idea what to do if you caught it? Now, Christina Hurd says, excuse me, I'm simply asking for facts. Not here to say not opinions, but cold hard facts. Because at the end of the day, if someone tries to tell me not to vote for someone, I want to know why. And George Mears says, I agree. Now, Scott Brown, which is another Republican, 2A, he says, why would we vote for Maura Rutledge? All I'm really seeing is a tax. Good question. Now, after this conversation, my name gets tagged, and of course I had to respond. So, in Rutledge fashion, I respond. Now I say, wow, that's all you see. Your focus on that while our country is being taken over by socialists. Well, be mad at Northam when you walk out the door. I'm not the one that puts you in that situation. You think the Democrats are going to give out a welcoming mat to us? You're worried about me, but Democrats have a gun pointed to all of our heads. Toughen up. Democrats have no care at all for us Republicans. Now, then, I know George Mears has given out his question. And I know he's bracing for Rutledge answer. So Rutledge is going to give it to him the way it needs to be done. Now, let me respond directly to you in the Facebook thread. We are in this mess right now with the very ones with that swamp experience. I'm letting the helicopter go past and saluting out to the military out there. And from Virginia Beach before Richmond. But I'm going to finish all. I just want to make sure the helicopters go where it needs to go. Okay, back to the point to George Mears. Let me repeat. Let me respond directly to you. This is me responding to George Mears. We are in this mess right now with the very ones with that swamp experience. Are you getting it? Or you just thought all those experienced career politicians are doing such a great job right now? Look at our country now under them. How would you rate Virginia's stability right now with those experience under your definition of qualified for a job. This means your opinion stinks and sucks. Pay attention to what's going on, and the definition of your experience has you looking like a fool right now. I'm glad not to be experienced in bullshit. Now Scott Brown comes back and he says, "Sir, didn't think I was being obtuse in my comment. Let me try again. I've been following you, but until tonight, haven't said a word on your post that I can remember. I am more concerned about what you have to offer as the Republican governor than just attacks on other Republican candidates and the strongest pro-2A group in Virginia. Not sure attacking BCDL gets you any points with those of us that are strong gun rights opponents." Good statement, Scott Brown. Now time for Rutledge to respond. Scott Brown. I'm not a politician. Let's get that out the way. So we good on that point. I'm waking VCDL up and their members to check out what they stand for, either 2A or self-defense, or paying for our constitutional rights with gimmick politicians. I said clearly, $20,000 for a politician needs to be explained with 9 gun control bills that got passed in a blue majority Virginia. I said 2A can't be paid for. It must be fought for from the heart and the soul. Money runs out, it's going to be us patriots left, not the politician. Now, I let everybody know I'm in a good mood because I give out another statement. I say, I love this thread. This is on Facebook. It gives me practice and let's talk and get to know where I stand. And it isn't in the swamp. See, too many are spending time being deceived by politicians because someone's pretending to be your savior. God got this, and he said for me to be me, not be polite. I'll depend on him, not gimmicks of those that need term limits. You paid for their image or appearance, meaning other politicians, for far too long. And we got a blue state in return. Now, I also let them know, here's my platform and views. I'll make sure they get a link so they can do their research. Like I said, I asked Chase the same questions because that's what you're here for, a man to chase, because VCDL seems to be the pro-Chase pack, but not the members, because the members don't know what's going on. The members is thinking that they are nonpartisan organization that cares about vetting out all candidates to see who's best for the job. So when you giving out $20,000 of your members' money and you are really Amanda Chase's fundraising team and your members don't have a clue because they're like, well, we're expecting to find out about more candidates. Let's see who's the best one. Now, if we want Amanda Chase, we'll have Amanda Chase. But right now, we didn't know $20,000 was given out to another politician who made sure gun control was there, no matter how much they claim to be 2A. Now, let's continue. And I'll tell them, like I said, ask Chase the same questions, but I'm not going to duck or dodge. I'm an unapologetic Republican that tells it like it is. So I tell them, ask whatever you like. And I said, hold on. I ain't done with Scott Brown or George Mears. Scott Brown was nice. George Mears, I felt like he needed a learning lesson. So I say, oh, I forgot. The same criteria that George mentioned. Trump is still your president. And criteria and was outside the establishment. Trump. Once again, Trump won his election. Trump. Because your criteria was the reason why Hillary Clinton lost. Now you can pick up your jaw and not repeat the political talking points. Because Hillary Clinton had that criteria that you thought was fitting of a leader. You see where she's at. She's back home on the couch, bitching and moaning about how she wishes she could be president. Now, once again, I say Amanda Chase and Democrats need to get used to the fact I'm not going anywhere. And this will be a fight for Virginia. Now, to continue, because I want to make sure everybody knows what was going on. Because I thought this was interesting. This is George Mears. I'm not firmly behind Chase, but I do support BCDL. Other than empty platitudes, he talks proper. I heard no reason to support you either. Although I know nothing about you, other than the fact that you seem to hate. You have no elective experience. So what qualifies you to start at the state's highest office? Your response that those with such experience have done miserably, while perhaps true, still fails to show how you would do better. If you've been a CEO, a successful business person who has provided paychecks for hundreds of employees that will demonstrate organizational, fiscal, and leadership experience, if you have that, why aren't you running on that? Have you ever drafted a bill or regulation to deal with problems that you were able to get elected officials to sponsor? If not, have you reviewed bills to identify strengths and weaknesses to provide others to make decisions on them? If not, how can voters discover that your personal learning curve is higher than anyone else most of us know? I got 46 years of working experience, 23 years as a Navy with Squadron Command and Nuke Carrier Air Department Head, 2 master's degrees, and 23 years as an environmental engineer, and 20 years split between grassroots and volunteer municipal service. But certainly wouldn't start my political career thinking I could just throw my hat in the ring for the highest elected office in the state, no matter how bad a job the last few governors have performed. I look for principal mayors, delegates, senators, or business leaders who understand state government and have a plan to fix it. I don't know if Amanda has such a plan, and if she runs a single issue campaign around 2A, I doubt she'll be successful. But she understands state government, the mechanics of drafting and sponsoring laws, and must have some established network to help her going forward. So what's in your wallet as the commercial goes? So Maura Rutledge gets back in the game and says, this is sounding good. This is getting juicy. Now, George Mears. This is me talking. I support whatever. I support VCDL message, but not swamp conduct. They claim nonpartisan, but appears to be a pack for Chase, which denies members from getting other candidates' positions. Have you read my platform with my biography first? Most haven't. What's not in my wallet is the garbage politicians, titles, special interests, and my favorite, the PhD of bullshit you just mentioned other than your military service, which I'm proud of your service. Yes, I am. I'm proud of your service, but I meant everything else. You rely on politicians that got us in this mess. I rely on patriots to get us out of it. What's in my wallet? I've been changing public policy and didn't have to get paid for it. And I got my degree in political science and it's well applied. What you told me about your principles is why America is on fire. Sorry, I'm so frank, but my country needs someone that delivers on promises, not on pitch lines. Now, the next part. Let's cut the crap. You can't interview me because somebody who talks like that should interview me. So I tell him, download whatever. Let's get this interview started. Now, I'm busy today, but I still got later on. Get your questions so I can deal with the separation of Rutledge and the other pieces of trash. So I make it clear to VCDL how vicious I am to Democrats and our constitutional rights in protecting them. Now, I'll be in Richmond. That's where I'm going to be at. How about you, George Mears? Walk the streets with me. Let's see how good your background and others handle the fire. All that book crap won't apply. I want you to tell Richmond all about your honor roll. One thing to talk is another to be on the battlefield. Experience my campaign style firsthand. So I invite George Mears to walk the streets with me at Richmond just to see if he can handle it. And we're going to talk to the protesters and all that. I wanted to see if he, can get the job done since he has all that experience. Now, I continue. Now, I want you to see businesses and citizens living in fear and ask them what Chase and those politicians you cited has done. Now, please don't cry like a baby when they tell you how they feel. That's what I do. I know people because I'm at ground zero knowing their story. Now, George Mears, I reached out. I tried. You got nothing but insults. We're done. Now, it continues. Me responding back to George Mears because he's soft. Now, that was quick. You're too soft. Next on the list, that means next person to step up and try to think they're going to talk down to me. You've been insulting this whole thread, and I handed you your ass right on back. Don't step up for a brutal conversation and too weak to finish. Now go back to Amanda Chase to lick your wounds. Now, George Mears responds back. I guess he's feeling a little salty after I said all of that. Arrogance backed up by belligerence. Impressive. So, George Mears, I respond back. Nope, it's because God showed me what you're all about. It wasn't trying to get to know me. It was about your need for self-glory and bullshit for those that could care less about taking back America. You are no better than a common Democrat. Amen. Now, after getting that out the way, I want people to know this. And I'm taking the sunglasses off, putting the Trump hat right on, because that's just the way it is going into November 2020. Republicans, conservatives, those who support 2A, 1A, support our constitutional rights, support us being human beings, and that's sick and tired of these stupid idiots that continue to think a politician is going to save us. Don't we got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of politicians while America is on fire? That's the point I'm trying to get out here. And they got all these stupid accolades. They got the master's degree. They got experience in public policy. They got experience on these different boards. But that experience ain't going to help you out if these thugs and criminals are the ones that you're running from. Now, you're mad because Rutledge is taking this on, not hiding, not running, not being a keyboard gangster. I'm the one at the Lee statue talking to these protesters face to face while your Chase is out there chasing the money. But she ain't chasing responsibility and duty, which she claims is enrichment not being done. Where is she at? See, we got too many Republicans. This is where I'm at right now. And it's a lot of people who are hardcore Republicans that believe in our constitutional rights, willing to fight for our rights, that's tired of these type of Republicans that's running around and only show up for a committee meeting and fundraisers, but they won't show up to find new voters and win back Virginia. We can't win back Virginia if we have this as our strategy. We have lost a decade under what this type of strategy has had. They are paying money for rights for 2A, and we have gun control measures being passed while they are still spending the money on train wrecks of politicians. See, I don't have to spend my time just talking about Amanda Chase. Those Democrats is different this time period. They won 8 years, and now they are trying to kick us while we are down at this time period because they're saying the Republicans are running. They are soft. They are only worried about Maura Rutledge once Maura Rutledge momentum is sky high and out the roof. And that's what I'm doing since this COVID political hoax tried to slow down the Rutledge train. But you obviously see Rutledge hasn't went nowhere. He's still going to the fire up there in Richmond. I'm going to still be going live. I'm going to still be talking to the people and the businesses that are being destroyed by rioters, terrorists, whatever, while their own city and their own leaders in this state, which are Democrats, are basically paying off the rioters to finish off the job. But they have time to be these Republicans, these 2A right here, these two. Because VCDL, I'm not worried about. VCDL has their own mess they have to fix. I'm just not the one to be the one covering up for you. I'm not going to do that. Your members, on the other hand, has the questions. That's why you're coming at me, because I put the questions out there that they understood is a problem. So if they coming at you, your own membership, about why you paid Amanda Chase $20,000 and there are 9 gun control measures being passed, and the assault rifles ban, which Governor Northam plans on passing, is not kill people. Please pay attention. When people say they defeated the bill, no. He can bring that bill right on back to sign. Plain and simple. And said after November elections, we are going to finish the job of taking away your guns, while telling you we ain't going to take away your guns. You see what I'm saying? They think America is stupid. And what I'm trying to tell people in America, what I'm trying to tell Republicans or whatever, I'm only saying what they need to hear. That's why the other Republicans who want to fight, who want to be in this fight, doesn't mind getting their hands dirty. They just looking for a leadership that's willing to get their hands dirty with them. They ain't trying to be out there and sacrificing themselves for a career politician. They had enough of that. Those same politicians are the reason why we are in this mess. When you walk outside, when you see how America has changed for the last 3 months, wasn't it the politicians who did it with the same resume as him, with the same experts that was around them, who was feeding them the liberal garbage? See what I'm saying? And they are still doing stupid rhino crap like that. And they act like when they said it, they forgot President Trump was exactly nothing like their criteria. But guess what? President Trump is running the country better than any president, especially during a pandemic, during a crisis, and all of that. You notice right now in Virginia, everything is opening back up while they are claiming that COVID levels has spiked through the roof. And they're still supposedly opening it up. You know why Northam is opening up? He doesn't have a plan for what to do for the businesses and the citizens that are out there struggling, and the state is running out of money. Notice that you go to a grocery store. Notice when you go out shopping, don't you see the prices has steadily increased? You see what I'm saying? So now the state is basically saying, we are broke. We need the revenue. Now we need to open up under any and all risk. Guess what? Because it was a 1% flu. He's a doctor. I guess he just figured it out. But guess what? Look at how many American citizens and businesses have been destroyed. And now they won't even have the coverage of what's going on in Richmond. But guess what? Amanda Chase is asking for martial law. By the time frame you're asking for your constitutional rights to be suspended, have your guns taken, have military doing checkpoints just to see if you could even go home or go throughout the city like you was able to do before. You see what I'm saying? And this was being done by politicians that was just like George Mears, principled people of leadership. And see what America has came while those principled people of leadership was running the country. Didn't you notice all those principled people of leadership was going to President Trump, who had none of those accolades, and asking for leadership, asking for federal bailouts, asking for stimulus, asking for pet projects, asking for PPE gear, asking for every single thing because they didn't know how to handle things themselves. See, that's the difference. See, Amanda Chase and Democrats, which are Foy, Fairfax, Herring, it doesn't matter. They're all pieces of trash in my book. Now, as far as it's concerned, they're all elected. And guess what? You heard how they acted during a crisis and pandemic. The only thing they got is gimmicks. See, I already know what the liberal media and the news is doing. Anybody can have a newspaper article that gives out, I'm running for office all across the state. They already been put out there. My article is going to be a little different. It's going to say exactly, wow, there's somebody else who's out there that's willing to fight for those who don't know about me. I'm just finishing off the job of the rural areas that don't know. And once I go to those areas, they're so fired up, they're so passionate, and they ready for somebody to win. But they want to hear what these other politicians are talking about because they haven't gotten their positions. You know why? Because they don't have any. They are still stuck on copying and pasting from the last candidate who lost. They still talking about all these losers who had lost their elections and gave up 33 seats uncontested. And you're still talking about all these people with these stupid accolades. These stupid accolades has cost us Virginia, has made it blue Virginia with all of those accolades. And guess what? Republicans in Virginia are looking for the president of the United States. His name is President Trump, without those accolades, to come to Virginia and save the state and win elections. How backwards is that? That you are going to him who don't have those accolades, maybe CEO, but everything from politics, he wasn't in politics. He came into politics and took his experience and basically blew up exactly what America should be. And made people stronger about loving America, loving its country, loving its people. The messed up thing about it is liberal media has tried to divide all of that because they're so focused on being the presidency and power, not in the best interest of the country. That's exactly that type of Republican too. Just because somebody's Republican, they could be doing Democratic work also. Because right now, you wouldn't be worrying about right now, Republicans, you would be worrying about Democrats who've been winning and why they are winning. You know why they are winning? Because they are acting tougher, they are more vicious, they are more nastier than ever. Why would you attack a Republican while Democrats is killing our babies? Why would you attack a Republican while Democrats are knocking over our monuments and funding the people who are doing it? Why would you attack a Republican while Democrats is putting out in the liberal media every dirty article, every single pandemic article that doesn't affect the protests which they funded? But you're attacking the Republican right now who hasn't been in the governor's mansion. No Republican, none of the people in the House, none of those in Virginia Senate in the last decade has been governor. But your focus is on this compared to the Democrats who are fighting us. And guess what? I didn't see that Republican at Stonewall Jackson's statue. I didn't see that Republican at Robert E. Lee's statue. Because guess what? He's a keyboard gangster. He's one who claims 2A, but when it came down to 2A being out there, 2A wasn't in the places that they were supposed to be at because the leaders was making money, not leading the charge to protect America's history and identity, which a well-armed militia is supposed to be about. But you're wondering why I'm not being nice to you? Whew. It's a different story when somebody getting real with you. So when you have a chance to speak to these soft Republicans, this is the first thing you ask them. See, I saw Rutledge. He has video out there of him being at the statue. He has video out there of him protecting the monument. He has video of him being where we needed leadership to be. Can you please tell me, other than the 2A rally, where were you at when Virginia was getting burnt down? Where were you at when these politicians wasn't stepping up and showing leadership? Where were you at in any of this, caring about our country more than your personal ego? And you know what they're going to say? Well, I can't answer that. I'm stuttering. But you're talking about the patriot that's out there fighting for the Republican Party with every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears, and doing everything that is needed to be done. But you're talking about the one who is applying action, committed to action, showing action, while you still dealing with the horse that's out there, that's only fundraising, that's only talking to people inside closed meetings because she's scared to confront the enemy, but she wants to be the one to lead the charge against it. Sorry, that person ain't cut out for being Virginia governor. My name is Maura Rutledge. I'm running for 2021 Virginia governor. If you are in Richmond, contact me and I'll show you exactly what a patriot is all about and not a politician. Know the difference. Know who I am. That means the not so typical Republican, no longer business as usual. And it means in Richmond, VA, and all over the state by me being elected, playtime is over.